As a result of bad planning, the entire Ukrainian convoy was sadly destroyed. It's day 542 of Russia's operation in Ukraine. Let's dive deeper. Starting from Vermivsky region. At this moment, Ukrainian forces seems to be regrouping, as Russian sources have reported their increased movements in these two villages. For the past 2 days, Russian artillery has been hitting these troop movements and inflicting damage. Russian sources reported they were able to destroy a couple of armored carriers in the process, and have prevented several rotations. However, these attacks are carried out in order to delay the inevitable Ukrainian push. Many sources are saying Ukraine will increase pressure on the entire front, with the main focus being Priyatny, Novodonetsky and Kermenchuk. Yesterday, Ukrainian forces launched probing attacks on different areas of the entire front line. In one of their attacks, a Ukrainian armored convoy was heading towards Kermenchuk from Urozhny. But they were moving without artillery support, in order to sneak past the Russian defensive line undetected. However, a recent video released by Russian forces confirms that they were monitoring this armored convoy from the very beginning. Only after it was in a favorable position, they started engaging. The entire convoy was hit one by one with various ammunition. As a result, the entire convoy was sadly destroyed. Many Ukrainian sources have expressed their criticism of this attack. In addition, Ukraine also carried out attacks on Priyatny and west of Staromayersky, but their attacks were repelled. Russian sources predicts big Ukrainian push could start in a couple of days. Now moving to the Orikhiv region. As usual, Ukrainian armed forces continue to launch a series of attacks on this entire front. Many sources say Ukraine is carrying out this attack in order to exhaust Russian forces, after which they will launch a major push with help of their elite unit. Latest report says an assault detachment of Ukrainian forces launched several attacks at different intervals, with support of aviation and artillery. Their main focus of the attacks were the eastern outskirts of the village, and this area northwest of Verbove. However, sources say, after a couple hours of fighting, Russian forces with help of various ammunition were able to repel the majority of the Ukrainian attacks, after which Ukrainian forces took some time to regroup and rotate their forces, while Russian artillery was heavily striking their movement. Russian sources reported, as a result, one stronghold of an elite unit, along with one Starlink terminal, was destroyed. Around morning, Ukrainian forces once again launched an attack north of the village. However, the outcome of this attack is unknown, as fights are currently taking place. Ukrainian forces are conducting these attacks with armored vehicles and tanks. As a result, they are losing several pieces of equipment every day. While Russia is on the defense, so they lose far less in comparison. Now moving to Klishivka. As we reported in one of our videos, how Russian forces retook the southern outskirts of the village with a very effective counter-operation, after which there was no major front line change for a couple of days. Since then, Ukraine has tried many times to advance in the village, but are not finding any success. Latest report says, Ukrainian forces for the past 24 hours launched a series of attacks west of the village. They were attacking with the support of tanks and armored vehicles from forested areas. Russian sources reported, pressure was very intense. However, their forces were able to withstand the attacks, and did not even move an inch. Sources added, Russians were able to destroy 2 tanks and several IFVs in these attacks. However, fighting has not stopped. Ukrainian forces are very persistent in their attacks. Recently, Russian forces carried out drone and missile attacks on different areas. Ukraine reported they were able to shoot down 15 out of 17 drones. However, in one of the strike, Russians were able to destroy a large ammunition depot of Ukrainian forces in the eastern part of Ukraine. Locals reported, explosion was huge, as surrounding houses and windows were damaged. Russian sources say, fire from this strike was detected by NASA's system. Subscribe for more frontline updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.